Good morning, mamas. I am so excited to present you to my friend Sonia. Sonia is a book author and she dedicated all her work about happiness. She has a book and she's going to talk about that during that episode. So watch it and let me know what you think in the comment section below. Good morning, Sonia. I am so happy to have you here this morning with us. That is just awesome. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Charlotte. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, and Sonia,
It's not morning here.
No, I know. Sonia is in France, so it's not morning for Sonia. Sonia is a French. It's Belgium. You're Belgium.
I'm Belgian and American, but I live in France.
Yes. So tell us more about you. I want to know everything, and there is a lot of great connection, I think, in this group, within this group, that can be wonderful for you as you are a book author.
I'm a book author. I show you.
Yeah.
I wrote this book, Happiness Now, A Guided Journey.
Uh-huh.
I wrote it in English first and then in French. This is the proof. So it's, but I don't know why I don't have a a real one by my side. I have a few on the shelf over there. But so yeah, so that's my book. What would you like to know about me?
I want to know what mom you are and what pushed you to dedicate your work into happiness.
Okay. So what mom I am, I'm a slightly pissed off mom today. I'm a mom of 4 great kids. I have a daughter who'll be 26 later, next month, one who'll be 24 at the end of the year. I have a son who's 18, and my youngest daughter is 14, and she threw me for a loop today with the school paperwork in France. You wouldn't believe what it takes to go into high school. So that got kind of...
She's very young to go to high school, no?
She skipped a grade early on, but yeah, she's the 4th kid of a pretty awakened set of siblings. So
I guess that helps.
She got it. So yeah, so I'm that mom. So I have 4 kids. I'm an only child. I always wanted 4 kids. Now they're older. I've listened to some other of the people who come on this thing, like some of you have, or at the beginning of your mom path. And I mean, your job as a mom is never done, but it's very different to parent 3 young adults and 1 teenager than your first toddler.
Absolutely, but I'm sure it comes with its own challenges.
Yeah,
and you still have like a huge branch because your latest is just 14, so she needs you a lot still.
She may need me a lot. She doesn't think so. That's what comes with that territory. Like, they think they can do everything on their own. And this morning was a testimony to my view.
Absolutely. Well, I think
so
you
yeah,
did
so
well.
that's the mom I am. I've survived. And what got me to happiness? I did a lot of different things. I was good in school. I thought I was supposed to do a lot of great higher education things, and I did all that, but I wasn't happy in there. Like, I had a very difficult relationship with my mother, and I got all sorts of degrees that I'm not going to bore you with. But at the end of all that, I was like, ugh, that's not really what I want. And I did a lot of work on myself, a lot of therapy, and I started kind of seeing the light out of my dark tunnel. And I became, right after I turned 40, I became a therapist. Or I had trained previously in Gestalt therapy, but I decided to start practicing right after my 40th birthday, when I thought, what am I going to do when I grow up? I'm almost grown up. I should decide something. And so I started working as a therapist and, helping people feel better in their lives. And then in 2017, I had this idea of writing this book. I stumbled on this program that I'm not going to name because I'm not here to do like advertisement, but
You can
um,
name it. Just name it. We are happy
uh,
to hear about it.
well, it was self-publishing school, and I saw an ad like want to write a book in 90 days, and I was kind of intrigued, and they had a 30-day money back guarantee, and I was like, well, what. And then
Nothing
I
to
was like, well,
lose.
what would I write a book about? And then I did the first exercise, and then by the second time I did it, I was like, wait, this is my life's work, finding happiness. So I kind of wrote that book, and since then I've been offering some workshops on experiencing your true happiness, and my newest endeavor is a online community inside a Facebook group, a private Facebook group where that I called Experience Your True Happiness. I'm offering
Hmm.
it in French and in English. That's what I'm developing um,
Are you looking
right
for new
now.
members? Because maybe we can put a link and have some
Yeah.
people on this group, like, have a look at your group. Because I
Yeah,
know.
so I'm at the moment I'm handpicking like founding members. So
Hmm.
it's really the beginning of this community. So what I could put in the group, because it might interest people, just even if they, whether they want to join the community or not, is I have a free guide that I call
Absolutely.
5 steps to being your true self unapologetically. And so I have a link to that, and then that gives me people's email, and then I can let them know. But I'm not a very aggressive, like I hate like so much email. So I
I know, I can tell. Regarding the question that you have about online marketing, when I post things and everything, I can tell that you're not that aggressive person who's emailing all the time about your content, which in a way you don't need to. But I think people, when they subscribe to your newsletter, they want to hear about your thought and they want to hear about
yeah, yeah, yeah.
valuable
So
content.
yeah, so maybe I'm not aggressive enough, or maybe I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could do more, but I'm definitely not one. You're not going to get like 6 emails a day. Like you're be lucky if you get one a month. So,
And what I love about
um,
you is like you evaluate with your work with, so it's all about happiness, but regarding the experience that you're living at the moment, you evolve with that very specific topic. You told me about your last work last time about your parents, and I
mhm.
found it very meaningful and insightful about your experience.
Yeah, so my parents, so would you like me to describe that a little
Yeah,
bit, or?
absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm an only child, and my parents both declined together very rapidly. My mom had a cognitive decline. They call it Alzheimer's, but they don't really know, right? And my dad had at the same time, had a lot of physical issues. And each time my dad was in the hospital, my mom declined, which worried my dad. The two of them were really fusional, and so it was really really difficult time, and I was an only child, and they lived in Belgium, so I, like, in 2018 I did 13 round trips to their house. I brought them to a retirement home near me, and it was all, some of the most difficult times in my life, but also, and that's probably what you found inspiring, that also some of the most rewarding, because I was able to just really be with them and what they went through, and to even my mom, like, who retreated more and more in herself, and who I had a very difficult relationship with. So my work, my personal work, was 15 years of therapy to kind of heal myself from my relationship with my mom. But at that time, it really paid back, like ka-chink, like at the casino, blah, 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 all the cash really paid back in the experience of being able to be with her in whatever was going on with her, and not looking for anything anymore, just being with the moment. And then my dad, who I was very close to, I was able to at the same time support him in making difficult decisions, but also just really enjoy his company, and just being there, and also just being there with what was there. These were my parents, and this is what was happening, and I was right there with them, with all of it. And so that was extremely gratifying, even though very difficult. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's
And
I
so
think it's
happiness, yeah.
beautiful.
So I'm working on I'm working not very. fast right now because I'm not completely out of the grieving process. I hate to admit, but that's
Well,
how it
everyone is
is.
different. Yeah.
So I'm writing this book, reconciling happiness and end of life when caring for your loved ones, which is sort of principles I've learned from caring for my parents. So it's a memoir. It's a personal development book slash memoir,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in process. And so yeah, when I talk about reconciling happiness and end of life, like I'm not talking about you're happy that your parents are sick or that they're dying. That's not what it is. But what are pockets of happiness that you can find in spite of that, in spite of
Absolutely.
whatever, really.
Do you think that having girls has helped you with your relationship with your mom?
That's interesting. That's certainly what I was. I was certainly thinking about that when I started having kids. Like I wanted at least one daughter because I would do better with my daughter than my mom did with me. Like, don't we all? Um, and so, yeah, I say some of both. Like I have three daughters; they're different. But I think it's a tall order for them to
Mm-hmm.
um, heal previous generations. So that's a pretty tall order.
Absolutely.
So
About your
yeah.
book, do you promote what's the goal with your existing book, the happiness one? Are you still doing workshops? Do you still promote it? What is your plan for that book?
Yeah, so I had I had a proud moment when Hal Elrod in the Miracle Morning
Yes,
community
I know him.
in his Miracle May mission, because he was looking to find his happiness again. He's been struggling with some stuff, and he said things he was going to do in his savers, and in the reading part he mentioned my book. And so like
Awesome.
my sales tripled. I have small sales, but I sell like 3-4 books a month or something, and I sold like 15 in like a week. Like people, Hal Elrod's reading this
That's
book,
so cool.
so that was kind of fun. So I'm not terribly active at marketing my book. um
Do you want to
yeah,
be though? Do you want to market it?
well, I could. I mean, yeah, right now I'm more, if I do put something out, it's this community, but
Mm-hmm.
certainly I have this, yeah, I have this book, so we can certainly put the link to the book if people are interested. I also did a TED talk on forgiveness. That's on my relationship with my
Yes.
mother. Um, um, what's it? How forgiving my mother radically changed my life.
We put the link as well on
Yeah,
that
I'll
topic
send you
because I
that.
think it's very interesting and forgiveness. Forgiveness is a big topic that it's hard to achieve forgiveness for many people.
Mm,
And I think
mm,
having like such an inspirational speech about it can help a lot. So definitely we'll put the link of your TED talk. Are you
yep.
present on any social media other than Facebook?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm I'm on Twitter, but I don't really. I'm not very active on my. I'm working on that. And
Absolutely.
I'm thinking of joining Instagram. I'm kind of trying to work myself up to.
I think you like book authors, they are like, you don't even need to create more content because you already have huge treasure inside your hands, and you already have the content. So the only thing that you have to do when you want to promote it online, it's really like to repurpose some part of your content, put some quote, do some tiny videos maybe about some part of your books, and just build from that, and build your reputation out of that. And I can totally show you how to do that when I talk with you privately. But I think you have a golden mine in your hands, and I would be
Thank you.
so happy for you to explore that. I don't know how
Mm.
much time do you have in your day for the
Well,
label.
at these are funny times, like between the confinement and my grief. I have at the same time a lot of time, and sometimes it feels like not a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't have that much. I don't have that much work at the moment, and it's also summer, so so I have some time.
That's cool. I'm excited to connect with you about that. Do you still do your workshops?
Well, so in this community, I'm going to offer 2 calls a month where we can talk about any issue around happiness, right? So I've
Mm-hmm.
talked about the issue with my daughter this morning, issues with my parents a couple of years ago. Whatever we talked about forgiveness. A lot of people have unhappiness gets into relationships a lot. So whatever topic of happiness we would cover in those calls. And then I'm also planning some workshops. Probably now I'll be working on them and starting in September. Some workshops on different areas of happiness or various topics and how they relate
Uh-huh.
to happiness.
I am so interested in doing that within that community. So if one day you want to talk about one specific, part of your work here on live or recording, I would love to add that. Maybe some slides or some exercise that we can do together would be fantastic.
Okay, so what you would like to, I didn't completely understand what you would like.
Oh, if someday you wish to share your, knowledge and expertise and whatever it is that you are doing during this workshop, I would be
Hmm.
thrilled to have you for a live training here on the group so that we can
Okay,
interact together. That would be awesome.
okay. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Can I ask you your writing routine? How do you get in your flow? How do you get to create content?
Yeah, so when I wrote this book, because it was very structured, the program was very structured, and I just wrote an hour every day. After breakfast kind of thing. So I started my day. Most days, I left some time at the beginning of the day. Now with this other book that I'm working on, I found that I it fits better for me to work in the evening somehow for that topic. I'm not quite sure, but I'm also not really in a routine with the second book yet. Like sometimes, with the when because the
Mm-hmm.
grief has kind of reared its head again recently. A bit better now, but a couple of weeks ago I had like a phase of a lot of grief, and so I don't want to kind of go writing about it. It's like okay, enough. When the grief is live, then I deal with the grief. When the grief is a little bit background, then I can write
Absolutely.
about it. You know what I mean? So.
Do you have any specific powerful tips or routine that you do every day to ensure that you keep flowing and moving forward?
Well, I do. My kind of the pillars of my well-being, if I would say, are my morning routine. So I do a version of the Miracle Morning,
Mm-hmm.
but so I have
Waking up
a
that early?
no, no, no. I do the routine, but I get up when I get up. So I do the routine. I get up the time I need before whatever I need to do first. I'm an evening person. I'm
See,
not.
again, we were talking about that yesterday, and we were
Yeah, I saw.
saying that, yeah, it's so important to know yourself and how you function and not
Yeah.
because I got super pissed. I was on my walk with Oscar and I was listening to Marie Forleo and she was talking about time management. And don't get me wrong, I love Marie Forleo. I think she's awesome. And she was saying, like, yeah, you can just like um, stop binge watching Netflix and everything. While I agree, sometimes you also need to binge watch Netflix in order to unwind and to be able to go back to your creative flow. That's my belief. But it was funny because I got so sick of reading all the influencer, mentor, motivational speakers saying you have to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning. If not, you're not going to be successful. And I have the living proof in my house that you don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. to be a highly successful person.
That's great. That's great. And also, what is success, right? So,
It depends on on the person. Absolutely.
yeah. So, one is my morning routine. So, I have a routine so it takes 35, 40 minutes where I do some meditation, some affirmation, some visualization, some movement, reading, and some journaling. I have short pockets of each.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have an app where timed. I time myself. I have a meditation timer app, so that I'm not watching the clock right while I'm doing it. So that's one thing I do every day. I go to the gym 3 times a week and I work out. I do a renforcement musculaire, so I
Yeah.
work on my
Mm-hmm.
muscles, like just a routine. And yeah, and just I focus on getting enough sleep. That's a challenge for me because I'm a big sleeper and I'm a night person, and so like the society is constantly too early for me. So that's like my everyday challenge, but it makes a huge difference to sleep enough. So sleeping enough, watching what you eat, cherishing your relationships, or nourishing your relationships. Those are some of my baseline
Absolutely. And
tips.
how do you deal with chaos like today with your daughter? How do
Uh, yeah,
keep
it
calm?
got, yeah, I didn't like, I let her have it. Like, because she's like, oh, I don't have it. It's not, it was like, yeah, yeah. Can I stay out? Can I go to sleep over 2 nights here? And when I'm like, ugh. And so when she, when she had dropped the paper off at her dad's and she didn't tell me, she's like, I didn't know it was for lycée. I was like, yeah, of course you didn't know. You didn't ask. Like, you're 14, you're thinking about your parties. You're not going to know if you don't ask. So no, I didn't keep my cool. But so that's yeah, when
That's
that
happened.
I don't like it. It doesn't feel good, but I let it get the best of me, and then it's how do I find the path back to and I went for a walk. I had a nutritious snack. I cried a
Yes.
bit. I cried a bit. You know,
I love your vulnerability. I think this live is so powerful. Thank you for being so real.
you're
It's
welcome.
important, I think, to sometimes when it gets at us to just acknowledge and just let go of it,
Mhm.
because if not, it's just eating you. And I'm an I'm a perfectionist. I would say I'm trying not to be anymore because it's just like driving me crazy. And I think that my son is a little bird, perfect bird, but sometimes just turning into a monster. And that is so hard for me to get back. And we talked about that a little bit earlier. It's so hard for me sometimes to get back at it. But I found that the fastest way for me to go back to what I was doing before, to my flow or whatever, is really to breathe and let go of all that anger and annoyance that can create. But it's not easy every day, and definitely doesn't feel good when you can't go back.
Yeah. And it takes time. Like you can get bent out of shape in a snap, but then the path down from there is the long path. Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
I know. I used to be a lot more perfectionistic.
Yeah.
I'm a bit older than you, so maybe you'll, with
Maybe I'll
time,
get there.
with time, you just kind of, yeah. Also, I had in 2014, I stepped into a burnout a little, and so think yeah, that hasn't been. I've been a
No,
little
yeah.
more careful since then. It just hasn't been the same. So being perfectionistic and pushing myself to do better and better, I know how that works, but it also got me to a place that I didn't like to be. So
Absolutely. And you're always interacting with things that you can't control anyway. And so you cannot be crazy, driving you crazy every time you can control. So you have
yep,
to find
that's
other
right.
solutions.
That's
How
right.
can we support you in this community?
Um, I just joined the community, so I'm not even really aware of what kind of support is available. Um,
I will definitely make some connection that I think can be like fulfilling, and maybe will, end into collaboration or at least good friendship.
mhm.
Definitely, I'm thinking of some person here. You know what I do. We will spend time together as well if you want to. And also, don't hesitate to share your links, your books, your
In the
skills.
comments here
Yes,
are
you can. And
okay. I'll
yeah,
do
and
that.
I will definitely, I'm doing, you know that I'm doing featured mom post as well on my Instagram. And I saw
Oh
you
no,
reply. I think
I'm not on Instagram yet, so
no, I know,
I
but I posted on Facebook, and I think you said yes, you would
yeah,
participate to that, and so I'll be in touch for sure because I need more awesome women displayed on my Instagram page.
okay.
Thank you
I'll be
very
there.
much. Yes, thank you very much for your time. I'm going to
You're
stop the
welcome.
live and I will talk with you a few more minutes.
Okay.
I hope you liked the video as much as I did. If you like it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Comment with any thoughts you might have. And if you think that someone could benefit from it, share it. Share it massively because you never know who you could help. I wish you a fabulous day and I will see you on the next video. Mwah.